Hey sis, it's your birthday today, right? Happy birthday! How does it feel to be 30 and still not have a boyfriend?
Well, I don't have a boyfriend, but
if it were me, I'd be so pessimistic about the future that I jump into a river.
if I got pessimistic about everything, I wouldn't have enough lives.
Exactly! Growing up ugly since you were born made you strong.
My younger sister Louise has always looked down on me and made fun of me since we were kids. And our parents always turned a blind eye to it. I'm Lucia, 30 years old. Louise, my 5-year-old sister, has had white skin, clear facial features, and looked like a cute doll since she was born. She has always been praised whenever she went. In contrast, I have no ordinary face, so my parents always dressed Louise up and favored her. That's why I worked hard in school, to be praised by my parents.
Mom, I got a perfect score.
Oh really? That's great. By the way, Louise has a recital at her preschool. I bought this dress for her. Isn't it beautiful? I think it suits Louise well.
Did you buy it again? You just bought new clothes the other day.
Well, it's a recital, and she looks good in anything she wears. Unlike you, she's worth buying for. You understand, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Louise went to a famous girls' school, but I went to the nearest school from our house. I worked hard and was always at the top of my class. But my parents never praised me. Louise never studied, but my parents were always happy because she would be beautiful in the future.
It's okay, Louise doesn't have to study. She can be an actress or a model in the future. And she's so beautiful that she'll surely be able to marry a good man.
Yeah, that's true. That's right. That's why you're studying so hard. Because you can't become an actress or a model since you're ugly.
Louise, don't say that. It's mean to your sister.
Well, but it's true.
The family conversations were always centered around Louise. I always felt left out and isolated at home. Studying was the only way for me to prove my worth. But no matter how hard I tried, my parents never acknowledged me. I was out of their sight. During that time, I became interested in law. I was drawn to the words, "All people are equal under the law," which was in the Japanese language I was studying. Even if Louise and I were not treated equally, maybe we were equal under the law, I thought. After graduating high school, I wanted to major in law at university and dreamed of becoming a prosecutor or a lawyer. But as senior year approached and it was time for career counseling, my mom said I didn't have to go to university. What? Louis' school is expensive. She's still in the middle school, and there will be high school and university expenses in the future. We can't afford your university fees. But I want to go to university and study. You're the older sister. You should be patient for your sister's sake. If possible, I want you to use the money you earn from working for Louise. Dad agrees too. What? When Mom said that like it was the most natural thing in the world, I felt devastated. It was yet another harsh reminder that no matter how hard I try, my parents will never acknowledge me. After graduating high school, I got a job at a small printing company and moved out of the house, thinking that if I stayed, my salary would just be exploited for my sister's benefit. When I said I was moving out, my parents tried their hardest to make me stay, saying it would be inconvenient for them if I left. Was there a hint of sadness in their voices? I hoped that I'd feel missed. That sweet expectation was quickly crushed. They were only worried that the money I gave them would lessen if I left. If they had said they were worried or wanted to live with me, I might have reconsidered. But such words never left their lips, so my feelings remained unchanged. I realized even more that I had no place in this family.
You're moving out?
Yes, I am.
Yay! Now I got your room, sister. I have so many clothes that Dad and Mom bought for me, and they won't all fit in my room.
Suit yourself. And with that, I began my life living alone. I didn't feel lonely at all. In fact, living without my parents or sister telling me what to do felt incredibly liberating. I never went back home after I left. And while my parents never asked me to visit or show my face, my sister occasionally reached out. When she entered college and when she got a job at a big corporation after graduation, she made sure to show off each time.
I got a job at a big company, like you. I actually went to college.
Good for you.
You've got a boyfriend yet? Oh, wait. Of course not. Who would date someone who couldn't even get into college? Who's ugly and works at a failing printing company? I never had trouble with men.
Right.
We haven't seen each other in so long. Have you got an uglier? Send me a picture so I can laugh.
No way.
Jeez, you're no fun. You're such a drag, sister.
What's fun about my sister contacting me just to belittle me and laugh? I don't need to pick up the phone. But what if it's something important, like news about our parents? Even though I consider my parents practically non-existent, if they were ill, there's no way my sister would care for them. That thought always makes me answer the call. Parents are parents, no matter what. At least that's what I thought at the time. Look, if it's just to talk about boring stuff, don't bother contacting me. Just let me know if something happens to Dad or Mom. I told my sister that countless times. So maybe it's unnecessary worry, but whenever she contacts me, I can't help but think something might have happened.
Are you saying that if something happens, you're just going to come for the inheritance?
What are you talking about?
Sister, you're awful. You just want Dad and Mom to go to heaven quickly, don't you?
Stop saying that.
I'm going to tell Dad and Mom that you said you wish my sister would die.
Louise! I wonder how she can say such nerve-wracking things all the time. Maybe it's because she looked down on me since we were little, and that's become a habit for her. She enjoys putting me down, and that's what makes her happy. I try not to react and not to let it bother me, but it still hurts. I can't help but feel sad because of the difference between my sister, who has always been forgiven for everything she says, and me, who has never been acknowledged no matter what I do. But after she got a job, we lost contact for a while. Maybe she's grown up a bit now that she's a company employee. So when she contacted me for the first time in 2 years on my 30th birthday and said,
Happy birthday!
But then she said,
How does it feel to be 30 and not have a boyfriend?
And my happiness disappeared. I was even sadder because I had expected something else. If that's all you wanted, I'm hanging up.
I'm just trying to be nice by calling you on your birthday. But actually, I have something important to tell you. I'm getting married.
Oh, really? Congratulations.
Are you jealous? The guy is a graduate of a state university and works for a big company. And his family is rich.
That's great.
You could never land a guy like him. You've never even had a boyfriend, have you? Do you want me to give you some of the guys I've dumped?
I sighed, realizing she was just showing off. And I realized once again that our parents don't even talk about me. That's fine.
Look at you acting all strong. I'll call you again later. Oh, by the way, how much are you going to give me for a wedding gift? It better not be a cheap amount.
She said what she wanted to say and hung up. She hasn't changed at all. I had given up on expecting anything from my family long ago. I hadn't been in touch with my parents for a while. But 2 years ago, I tried to let them know how I was doing. But both Dad and Mom showed no interest in me at all. If you're going to send me money, that's fine. But if not, I don't want you to contact me. I don't have time to deal with you, Mom told me. I didn't want to rely on them at all. But after hearing those words, I felt like I made a mistake by contacting them. I'm sure our parents are happy about my sister's wedding, and once she gets married, we will become even more distant. But that's fine with me. 2 months later, My sister contacted me to tell me that the wedding date had been set.
The venue is a famous wedding hall that celebrities often use. A place you could never go.
Yeah?
And you know what? I've decided not to invite you to my wedding. I'll just take the wedding gift though.
What?
Are you shocked?
The first thought that came to my mind was whether she had ever intended to invite me in the first place. I never thought I would be invited, and I never even considered attending. That's why I was shocked when she told me I didn't need to be invited on purpose. I mean, I quickly realized she probably just wanted to see me get upset.
You know, he's a highly educated elite. If he knew about a family like yours, it would be embarrassing. He said his friends are all well-educated and rich. You wouldn't want to be the odd one out, would you?
I get it. I won't go.
If it bothers you, why don't you find someone as good as him? But I guess it's too much for someone like you, huh? Want me to at least show you his face?
I'm good.
Don't be so jealous. He's incredibly handsome. Someone you'd never get a chance to meet.
With that, she sent me a photo of her fiancé without even being asked. I wasn't particularly interested, but I took a look anyway. However, the moment I saw him, I thought, wait a minute. I felt like I'd seen that face before.
See? We'd be the perfect couple, right?
Hold on, is this guy...
What? You want to nitpick?
Not that, but where did you meet him? Someone from Louis's company?
No, at a party. It was exclusively for wealthy, well-educated men. Finding a life partner is different from just dating, you know. Gotta be picky.
I've never been to such marriage-minded parties. When I inquired more, attendees apparently had to show ID and men had to provide proof of income. I asked for his name. It wasn't someone I thought I knew. Perhaps I was mistaken. I felt it might be intrusive to push further, but I was really curious. When I asked if she had met his parents, she said no.
They live in another country. They're coming here a week before the wedding. That's when I met them. Oh, maybe I can invite you for that. Not the wedding, but you'd want to see his face, right?
Meeting the parents? Sure, I can go.
So you want to see him after all? I'll allow it, just once. But don't drool, okay?
It wasn't like I was eager to meet him, but I had a reason to. I didn't tell her because I wasn't certain yet. I might not be believed, and she'd just accuse me of being bitter. However, on the day of our meeting at the restaurant, I noticed both my parents and sister seem uneasy outside. Seeing them, I felt my concerns might be correct. What's wrong? What happened?
She hasn't shown up yet, and the restaurant said they didn't have a reservation.
Did you contact him?
I called many times, but he kept saying the number isn't in use. It was fine just yesterday.
Hey, you didn't give him any money, right?
Why?
You did?
I gave him $50,000 for the wedding.
$50,000?
He said he couldn't access his funds for work right now, but he promised to pay back with interest after the wedding.
Louise, you have been had...
Huh?
I had just received a consultation from a woman who had met a man at a party, lent him a significant amount of money, and recently started to worry that she may have been deceived. The photo of the man she had shown me was identical to a photo my sister had sent me of a man she knew. The stories I had heard from the woman and my sister were eerily similar. They met at a party aimed at finding marriage partners. Their parents lived in another country and so on. The woman had gotten suspicious and contacted the company where the man worked, but was unable to reach him as he was supposedly out on business. However, she felt relieved to find out that he was indeed employed at the company. But as soon as she brought up the money she had lent him, all communication ceased. She tried calling the company, but he was always out. So she decided to visit the office in person, only to be told by the man himself that he didn't know her. Feeling desperate, she came to me for advice.
What do you mean, had?
It means she was deceived.
What the hell are you talking about? Just because you're jealous of me, don't make up ridiculous stories.
Then why can't you get in touch with him?
But how would you know anything about that, sis?
I just had a consultation with a woman who may have been deceived by a man who looks exactly like your boyfriend. She wanted to know what she would do and if she would get her money back.
Consultation? What consultation? Why would she consult you? You're useless.
Well, that's because I'm a lawyer.
Huh?
My sister and parents were all shocked by my words. After graduating from high school, I got a job at a printing company and studied for the bar exam on my own while working. I spent 5 hours studying every night after work and the entire day on weekends. Even so, it took me 5 years just to get to the point where I could take the preliminary bar exam. But all my hard work paid off when I passed the preliminary exam at the age of 23, and then passed the bar exam the following year on my first try. I went on to complete my legal training and got a job at a small law firm at the age of 26.
Don't lie. There's no way. Who didn't even go to college could become a lawyer?
I worked really hard. I didn't want to give up on my dream just because I couldn't go to college. Well, thanks to you. I had a determination to face any challenge. That's probably why I was able to do it.
You're lying. Dad and Mom didn't say anything about that, did they?
I didn't tell them. I was going to tell them when I got married. I did contact them about it.
Married? Sis, are you married?
I guess you didn't know that either. I thought you might not know because of the weird things you were saying about my boyfriend.
You're lying. You said you didn't have a boyfriend.
Well, that's because I have a husband. 2 years ago, when I told my parents that I was getting married to someone who had no family, like parents or relatives, and we wouldn't have a wedding, my mom said,
"Figures you'd only be able to marry someone like that?"
They never asked about my partner's profession or even what kind of person they were. Even though I had contacted them for the first time in nearly 10 years, they didn't ask how I was or if I had been well. There wasn't even a simple congratulations. All they said was only to rely on them. Their cautious tone, as if I was about to ask for money, deeply disappointed me. So I didn't tell them I had become a lawyer. I couldn't imagine parents who wouldn't even celebrate their child's marriage being happy about them becoming a lawyer. It became clear to me that my parents were not at all interested in me. In fact, they seemed to prefer to not be involved with me at all. For them, having my younger sister was enough.
You're seriously a lawyer?
Yes, I'm working at my husband's firm now.
So your husband's a lawyer too?
Yes. I then shared with my sister what I recently discovered about this man. He wasn't employed at the company the client mentioned. There was someone with the same name, but it was a completely different person. So this man was using someone else's identity. It was a clever deception. The person whose identity he was using was always out for business and hardly ever available, probably calculated on his part.
What does that mean?
I think he might be a professional marriage scam artist.
Marriage scam?
I thought I might met him here today, but it seems I'm too late.
What about the $50,000?
Both Dad and Mom were listening to my story, their faces turning pale. It seems they had provided the $50,000. I never thought they would give that kind of money. Considering it, my sister isn't the kind to have saved up that amount in the nearly 3 years since she started working. Given her impulsive nature, any salary she gets would be spent in no time. "Can you, as a lawyer, get the money back for us?" Mom said as if it was obvious, but it's impossible to recover the money if we don't know where he is. My parents and sister pressured me to get the money back, but that's not my job. Plus, I had no intention of representing these people. Meeting them after nearly 12 years and all they cared about was the money. It made me feel like they were already strangers.
We're family, so it's natural to help, right?
Were we family? I wasn't aware. We need that money back. We spent so much on Luis over the years. We don't have extra. Luis said once she marries him, since he's wealthy, we could be comfortable. We even went into debt because of that. How could anyone say something so outrageous? As I listened in disbelief, Mom continued, seemingly seeking sympathy. It seems my parents had been drowning in debt for a while. My sister had already quit her job, saying she couldn't return to work because it would be embarrassing to admit she'd been deceived. Desperate, they ranted about how I should cover their debts and help them out monthly, assuming as a lawyer, I must be making good money. We're even willing to live with you if you want. Something inside me snapped at that moment. I realized these people were no longer family to me. Engaging with them any further would just hurt. So I decided to protect myself and end the relationship. I can help you. You should report this to the police or seek a lawyer.
You're abandoning your own parents?
Did you ever consider me your daughter? I don't see you as my parents anymore. Actually, I haven't for a long time. I have no intention of being involved with you. At that, Mom put on a show, crying about how I was their precious daughter and they valued me more than my sister. But it was too late. Hearing her words only made me feel colder inside. My sister frequently reached out, begging for money, but I ignored her. After some time, even Dad started calling, begging for help. Apparently, due to their debts, they sold the family home and now lived in a cramped apartment, enduring a tough life. To make matters worse, my sister wasn't working, just staying at home, eating junk food. Her skin looked awful. She'd gained weight, and she'd looked nothing like before. She's not my daughter anymore.
You're my only daughter.
Fortunately, I had a separate mobile phone work. Moreover, they have shown no interest in me and do not even know where I live. So there is no way to contact him anymore. I felt a weight lift off my shoulders once I severed all ties. Later on, the conman who tricked them was arrested. He had several fake IDs suggesting he had many other crimes to answer for. I did my best to help the woman who came to me, hoping she'd recover some of her money. My husband and I will continue to work together, growing our law practice and living happily. If we ever have children, I want to shower them with all the love and care in the world.